Here's a question I saw in a video recently. Jamie, have you ever taken a Flixbus? And if so, how does it compare to taking trains in Germany? And you know what? I have taken a Flixbus. Once. Alright, gamers. Today we're pitting two major staples of German travel against each other, Flixbus and Flixtrain. See, the Deutsche Bahn is Germany's main rail operator, the national operator if you will. They maintain the tracks, they run the ICEs, they zoog on my felt until I else. And sometimes though, the ICE tickets are expensive. And sometimes you're poor, like I was in college. And sometimes you feel like you've got to learn more about yourself and explore things, like I did in college. And sometimes you make really questionable decisions about doing things that will leave you feeling all headachy the next morning. Just right, just like I did in college. Can you guess when I rode this Flixbus? That's right, a couple of months back. I've been out of college for years at this point. Flix is the biggest fully private operator in Germany, operating their Flixbus intercity bus routes and Flixtrain intercity train routes. While Flixbus operates all around Europe and even the US now, Flixtrain is a strictly German affair. I mean, they used to run one singular route in Sweden, but now they don't. To pit these two against each other though, I spent respectively €6 on the bus, plus an additional 2 to sit in the big front seat up front, plus €12 for a train to and from Hamburg and Leipzig, because I live near Hamburg, and my good friend Val lives in Leipzig. Hi Val.
Hi.
You're on camera.
Yay.
What will happen? Will I die? Will I find out what it's like to eat nuts on a bus? Will I somehow end up in Chemnitz? Find out now. Hello and welcome to the Reeperbahn, where today in Hamburg it's fucking cold. Now today I need to head to the Zob, das Zentrales Omnibusbahnhof, or as they call it here in Hamburg, das Ghetto, because it's like the most ghetto part of town, to catch a Flixbus. My first time actually taking a long distance coach in Europe, and second time ever actually in my entire life. And today I'm heading from Hamburg to Leipzig, leaving in just under half an hour. God, I gotta get a run on it. It'll take 7 hours. And then I'm going to come back on Sunday also using Flix, but not a Flixbus, but a Flixtrain. Meanwhile, my fun voiceover in post is going to tell you all about the experience. You get the point. Two travels on 2 days. Welcome respectively to Hamburg Zob and Leipzig Hauptbahnhof. Alright, so I'm just nearly at the bus station now. We're coming right up to it. I'm right by Hauptbahnhof, and you can actually access it from the Hauptbahnhof U-Bahn and S-Bahn stations. And actually, fun fact, if you take some of the bus lines that get off on this side of the station, they'll be labeled as Hauptbahnhof / Zob. I actually know this area because even though I don't really take buses here, we are near this. You get a lot of interesting people around here. This is definitely the type of place you walk with your keys between your fingers. Gotta be honest, of all the places in Hamburg, the area around the Zentrales Busbahnhof at night is probably the one place I feel the least safe in Hamburg, as a trans woman especially. Been here for 5 minutes now, and I've been yelled at by 2 random men and seen another's penis. Really a sign of how Hburg likes to keep it classy. On Val's recommendation, reviewing the elevator and the parkade section of Leipzig, how it's clean.
It's clean.
I mean, there's litter, but like...
The room smelled like piss, but this
The room
fine.
smelled like piss, and I think I might have seen some human shit in the stairwell. So far, I give this a, good out of 10.
Yeah.
Leipzig Hauptbahnhof is the biggest train station in Germany, and by some accounts was once the largest in the world. It was at the very least definitively the largest in Europe at one point. And I guess that makes sense when you realize it was originally 2 separate massive stations that were combined into one. I like the station. In fact, I like the station a lot. It's very nice. Look at that little thing. Look at it. It's so cute. Like it's a little fucking baby train. Oh, and coming to the foam zone. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
It's a stupid little train. I like it.
it just looks so long. It's like if someone looked at a hot dog and said, you know what, I have an idea for a new train. Alright, elevator review, bus station edition. Let's see how this one is. Opens on both sides. You know, I must say it's actually pretty clean. No weird smell or anything. Accessible. A lot of interesting people around here. Also, looks like there were shops in there, but the only one that was open in the main building itself was the one for Flixbus, and the rest were shuttered. Also, look, there's lockers.
I was very happy to leave Hamburg Zob. I do not like that bus station. I do not like it a lot. I am very happy I was not there after dark.
We have a bear and a curtain. USB charging. Wall outlet. Table. Very plush seat. The legroom is very generous. No armrest or anything. Oh, and there's vents and a reading light that's not on. Truly, this is a great spot for road foaming, I guess.
As we pulled out of Hamburg, I settled into my seat. A nice Flixbus bear perched on the door to keep me company. This might just be a relaxing journey.
Alright, here we are.
Yeah, it's not folded yet.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's not even pulling in.
Wow. Good job, Flixtrain.
As it turns out, my train journey was delayed before it could even get started. That's right, Flixtrain canceled my train.
I just fucking asked her, oh, what happens if my train gets canceled? It got canceled. This is where I'd put my Flixtrain. If I had one. It's so fucking cold in here. I can see my breath.
Night had fallen, but I knew we were in Hanover by the sight of their trams. I love these things. They always look like giant metal centipedes to me. And then as we pulled into Hanover Zob, an angry German man in uniform boarded our bus, yelling at us to disembark and made everyone hand over their IDs and passport. This can apparently happen sometimes in German Flixbuses, particularly near the border, especially on those Flixbus routes that originate outside of Germany. However, it was weird for the German Zoll, that's German Customs and Border Enforcement officers, to work so far inland, and doubly so as while the final destination for this bus was Vienna, it originated in Hamburg. Between the yelling and the refusal to answer anyone's questions, plus now missing my Ausweis and passport, I felt incredibly unsafe.
Alright, so here's what happened. Took the Flixbus. We made it to Hanover. Not even left, like, Niedersachsen. Zoll stopped it. They've taken my passport and my ID. They've made everyone get off the bus. It's very freaky. So we're going to Lisa, not to be now confused with Risa, which is the sex planet from Star Trek.
I have no idea. Basically, Chemnitz has been is the capital of culture in 2025 to maybe renew some projects and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I think Rubas made a video about that.
Yeah.
Explaining it a bit better. But basically, because of that, there's additional train services. Usually, there's just a normal RE6 that runs between Leipzig and Chemnitz via Bad Lausick and Geithain and stuff. This service isn't electrified. The entire railway isn't electrified there, except no, it's not electrified at all, actually, now that I think about it. But this one is, the one we're taking right now, which is the RE6E. Yeah, only stopping at 2 stations in between.
Oh, so that's very express.
Yeah, it's just Riesa and Dilben.
Sure, let's go to Chemnitz.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't know what to do for the next 12 hours, so we decided to head to Chemnitz, the official EU capital of culture for 2025. I mostly knew it from having a massive statue of Karl Marx. Look at him. I just want to plant a kiss in that big ol' mouth.
Let's get on board with our Duncan.
We were also riding a very special train here, the RE6E, a limited time only regional train that takes a different regional route than the normal, often overcrowded RE6 route between Leipzig and Chemnitz. I knew this train was special, truly, because several foamers appeared at each station to snap pictures.
Yo, look, femboy money. Was he a femboy?
Probably.
It was cold back in Hanover. Fucking cold.
I am talking very quietly on the bus. It's been an hour. They have not given back IDs or papers to anyone. Lots of yelling. They yelled at me for calling my husband while we were standing in the cold.
Sorry.
Oh, they're good.
Someone asked one of the guards in German, "Where are our passports?" Some of the officers conversed near the doorway at the front of the bus, which we had mercifully been allowed to reboard, and I heard one say, "Misplaced," which did not inspire hope. Chemnitz is actually pretty cool, and as it was a sunny day, I figured this would be a great day to do some tram photography.
The tram trains were a viewer request.
What a cool place! I think I'll definitely be doing the tramways of Chemnitz in depth in the future.
Oh, and 2 of them. I'm just gonna get it going by because this is very cool. Yeah. This is very, very cool for me.
Back on the bus, 20 minutes later, I finally got my passport and Ausweis back. 10 minutes after that, we were back on the road. I was completely and totally freaked out. On this question, I'm not trying to paint anyone in any sort of light. For those who've had more Zoll officer encounters than I, can you let me know in the comments, is this normal behavior? At least my seat on the bus was comfy though, and after a while, I fell into an uneasy sleep.
Can't believe they just spelled out Hauptbahnhof like that. Who do they think they are?
It was now time to return back to Leipzig from Chemnitz.
And now let's board the RE6 back to Leipzig to catch a Flixtrain. Woo.
This time we took the normal RE6, which was less modern, more cramped, and more fart-smelling than the RE6E. Fun fact about this route, by the way, it actually operated until last year using former East German Railways rolling stock, and I just think that's neat. Another fun fact, my Flixtrain actually arrived this time.
Okay, so Val, thank you for coming with me.
You're welcome.
Keeping me company today. My Flixtrain is finally here. If I was Liz, I thought I would be way down here, but no, I have to go to the other end of the platform. I'm going to board, and I'm going to hopefully get back to Hamburg in one piece.
I hope so too.
Where the timer is currently at 6 and some hours.
Yeah, I've heard worse.
And Val and I said a tearful goodbye on the platform.
19, ooh. So here I go. All right, let's see, cup holder, armrest, very plush, very comfortable chair. And also there's an outlet underneath. Oh, and a code thing. Tray table, also coupled. Hey, you're not supposed to be here.
Back on the bus, I had woken up in a car wash. No, I'm not joking. I guess the bus needed to fill up and they sent it through the bus wash with everyone on board. At least the soap they were using smelled good.
I kind of really dig these headrests. See you in Hamburg, I guess.
On the train, our route tonight will take us to Hamburg via Berlin, with Berlin Südkreuz and Berlin Hauptbahnhof being our only intermediate stops. Nobody ever took the seat next to me as well, so I was actually really comfortable. Only major issue was the Wi-Fi, which didn't work at all. After all the delays and such on the bus, my friend Val, who I was meeting in Leipzig, suggested that instead of riding all the way to Leipzig on the bus, I instead go off in Halle an der Saale, and she and I would get Burger King and then ride the S-Bahn into town. When she sent me this message, I was at Magdeburg Hauptbahnhof, and it was also our last intermediate stop before Halle. I want to say I thought intently on this, but no, not at all. Between intense Zoll officer encounters, car washes, and having eaten nothing but bus nuts since the last evening, getting off in Halle was a no-brainer.
We've made it to Berlin, which is our only intermediate stop, both Südkreuz and the Hauptbahnhof, and it's pretty good so far, even if the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
We pulled through Berlin on the train a couple of minutes early. By now it was dark out, so you can't see much of the route from Berlin to Hamburg. But you know, even with the cancellation earlier, it was pleasant. Flixtrain didn't charge me anything to rebook, and I even managed to nap a little. You know what? Might be a hot take, but yeah, I'd ride the green train again.
Sorry, I was too busy foaming.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, girly? Do you want to be on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to wave? Do you want to say hi?
I'm just gonna wave.
I can't believe I passed you by because I was bus foaming. Hi, Val.
Hi.
We pulled into Halle late at night. I thought you were getting off in Leipzig, asked the concerned bus driver, who had changed out with the old one when we went through the car wash. No, I said, Halle, I responded, gaslightingly. As a reward for being such a brave girl though, Val got us first class seats on the S-Bahn. Overall on the Flixbus, unless I have no other options or I can't resist only pay a couple bucks to travel sometime, if I can avoid it, yeah, I absolutely would not do it again.
Okay, so I've made it to Hamburg, and you know, technically speaking, it took even longer than the bus if we factor in the cancellation earlier, which was weird because we saw the train deciding and then it just happened like 5 minutes beforehand. But once I got on board, we've actually arrived a few minutes early. I really have no complaints besides the fact that the Wi-Fi just didn't work. Even though they're older carriages, I think they used to be old Interregio carriages or even IC1s in some cases. So yeah, if it's cheaper than ICE, I would take that train again.
So that's it. That's the Flixbus and Flixtrain adventures. I'm excited to do S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland in depth and the trams of Leipzig in depth. Val and I recorded both of those while I was there. In regards to Flix, the train is much better than the bus. This is only my second time ever riding an intercity bus, by the way. I rode the Dartmouth coach in the US last year when I went from Boston to Vermont to visit some family, and it was very comfortable, relaxing, and punctual. Definitely a step up from the Flixbus, which honestly, it was pretty nice on board. The trip itself was perhaps a bit too wild for my tastes. At least it was quiet on board when we were driving between each city. So here's my question for you, dear viewer. If I were to do one of these again, what should I cover? Maybe pit Eurostar and DB against each other? Maybe a video on Westbahn, Westbahn? I even ride a night jet sometime, compare each class on that. I don't know. I think I'm going to plan another trip across Germany tonight though. Use the always reliable Deutsche Bahn, of course. Hopefully increasingly reliable, right? Don't take another Flixbus, please. TFTSB is made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.